Night covered the desert like a dark blanket, silent and endless. Evan Cole, a lonely salvage worker, drove his old truck across the empty land. He came here almost every night, searching for metal, parts, or anything valuable. But tonight felt different. The air was heavy. The sky looked strange. Evan stopped the truck when a bright blue streak cut across the sky. It was not a shooting star. It was bigger, faster, and it was falling straight down. A few seconds later, the ground shook. A deep tremor spread under Evan's boots as a distant explosion echoed through the desert hills. Evan's heart started beating faster. What the hell was that? He whispered. Without thinking much, he grabbed his flashlight, his small toolkit, and started walking toward the crash site. Every step felt louder in the silent night. The air smelled like burning metal and something else. Something sweet, almost floral. As he reached a small dune, he saw it. A glowing object half buried in the sand. Not a plane. Not a satellite. Nothing human-made. Evan's breath caught in his throat. The object looked like a smooth silver pod, cracked open on one side. Blue light leaked from the cracks, pulsing like a heartbeat. Strange symbols glowed on its surface, symbols no human could understand. Evan stepped closer. The sand suddenly vibrated under his feet. He froze. Something alive was inside. When he touched the pod, it opened with a soft hiss, like a whisper welcoming him in. Evan took a deep breath and looked inside. Everything went quiet for 1 second. Then he saw her. Woman not human lay inside the pod. Her skin glowed faint blue. Her hair looked like soft silver threads floating slightly, even without wind. She held a small bundle close to her chest, a baby, tiny and glowing. Her liquid silver eyes slowly opened, and she stared at Evan with fear and hope mixed together. Evan stepped back in panic, but the woman raised a weak hand. Human, she whispered. Evan's heart jumped. She spoke English broken, soft, trembling. She tried to push the baby toward him. Her voice cracked as she spoke again. Use me as you need, human. Just feed my child. Evan's blood turned cold. What did she mean? Why would an alien beg him? I don't understand, he stammered. What happened to you? Who are you? The alien woman coughed softly, glowing brighter for a moment. The baby in her arms made a small sound, almost like a soft chirp. They are coming, she whispered. Hunters, not human. Not mine. Evan looked around the dark desert. The wind felt colder now. The silence felt dangerous. What? Hunters? He asked. The woman placed a shaking hand on the side of the pod. A small hologram appeared, tall metallic creatures with sharp legs and burning red eyes. They marched across a battlefield, capturing everything living. Her voice broke. They take all, use all. No mercy. Evan swallowed hard. You mean those things are coming here? She nodded slowly. They chased me, and my child. Your planet, not safe now. Suddenly, the pod shook. Sand fell from the dune above. A loud metallic thump echoed across the desert. Evan spun around. Scanning the darkness. Another thump, stronger. Closer. The alien woman grabbed Evan's wrist with surprising strength. Please, protect my child, she begged. Her voice was no longer broken, it was desperate. I can't fight machines, Evan whispered, almost panicking. I'm just a salvage worker. You are human, she said softly. Humans, always stronger than they think. The pod shook again, this time harder. A sharp screech cut through the night, like metal claws dragging across stone. Evan felt the air vibrate. Lights appeared. In the distance, dim at first, then bright red. 3 tall shapes moved slowly through the dark. Scanning the desert floor. The alien woman pressed the baby into Evan's hands. The child was warm, glowing softly with a strange energy. Please, she said one last time, save her. Evan held the alien child in shaking arms. He didn't know why, but he felt something inside him shift. Responsibility, fear, a strange sense of duty. The ground trembled again. The metallic creatures were close now, too close. Red beams cut through the darkness, crawling across the sand, and stopping right on the broken pod. Evan took a step back. One of the machines let out a deep, rumbling growl. The alien woman looked at Evan with sad eyes filled with trust. Outside, the machines took another step and another. The desert felt like it was holding its breath. Cliffhanger. A giant metallic claw slammed down on the pod's outer shell, and everything went dark. The world turned into a blur of darkness and noise as the metallic claw smashed the side of the alien pod. Sand exploded everywhere. Evan dropped to his knees, shielding the glowing alien baby with his body. The crash rang in his ears like a thunder strike. For a moment, nothing moved. Then the desert trembled again. A deep mechanical hum rolled through the air, slow, heavy, cold. When Evan lifted his head, he saw shadows moving outside the cracked pod. Not one, not two, 3 tall figures, each nearly 3 meters high. Their bodies were not like normal machines. They looked like walking knives, long, sharp, angular limbs, with glowing red stripes pulsing like veins. Their heads were smooth metal plates with a single red eye in the center that scanned everything around them. The alien woman inside the pod forced herself upright. Her face twisted in pain, but she kept her eyes steady on Evan. "Hurry! They sense life," she whispered. Her voice was weaker now, fading like a quiet wind. Evan's fear grew sharper. "What do they want?" "Life force," she said, struggling for breath. "They feed on living energy. They smell it, follow it, take it." The baby in Evan's arms gave a tiny cry. Its glow brightened for a moment. Instantly, all 3 machines turned toward the pod. Their eyes flared red. Evan froze. "Oh no. No, no, no." The alien woman pushed Evan hard. "Move, hide the child." A long metal leg crashed into the pod's side again. Panels snapped off. Blue sparks flew out. The pod would not survive another hit. Evan grabbed the alien woman by the arm. "Come on, we need to go." She shook her head. "I slow you down." "I'm not leaving you," Evan growled, but she did not answer. Instead, she raised her hand and tapped a glowing symbol inside the pod. A small side hatch slid open, revealing a narrow passage leading under the sand like a hidden escape tunnel. Evan stared at her. "You knew this was here?" She nodded weakly. "My last chance." "For her, not me." The machine screeched outside, impatient. Their claws carved deep lines into the pod. Sparks showered over the sand. Evan had no time left. He lifted the alien baby close to his chest and grabbed the woman's hand. "Come on," I said, "I'm not leaving you." She looked at him with eyes full of pain and gratitude, but also fear. Fear not for herself, but for her child. Something changed in her expression. Perhaps she realized that this human was not like others she heard of. Perhaps she felt she could trust him. She nodded. Together, they crawled into the narrow tunnel. Just as another metallic claw smashed down behind them, the tunnel was dark and cold, with strange blue lights flickering along the walls. Evan could barely crawl with the baby in one arm while pulling the injured woman with the other. The space was tight, forcing them onto hands and knees. Behind them came the sound of tearing metal. The machines were ripping the pod apart. And then, a sound Evan would never forget. A high-pitched mechanical roar that shook dust from the tunnel ceiling. "They know the path," the woman whispered. "They will follow." "Great," Evan muttered. "Just what I needed, giant killer robots chasing me." The tunnel slanted downward until they reached a large metal plate blocking the way. It looked like a dead end. "Please don't tell me this is it," Evan said. The woman pressed her hand to the plate. Her skin glowed. The metal responded instantly, peeling open like petals of a flower. Beyond it was a wide underground cave, filled with broken machines, old pipes, and strange alien symbols carved into the walls. Evan stepped inside. Just as the tunnel behind them shook again, the harvesters were forcing themselves into the escape shaft. "Hurry!" the woman gasped. She pointed to a large metal door on the far side. "That leads to the ruins." Evan lifted her onto his shoulder and ran. The baby glowed brighter, sensing danger. Its tiny hands clung to Evan's shirt, warm and trembling. Behind them, a metallic claw burst through the tunnel opening. The machines shrieked. Evan reached the heavy door. He slammed his hand onto the control panel. Nothing happened. No, don't do this," he shouted at the dead machinery. The alien woman lifted her glowing fingers and touched the panel. It lit up instantly. The door slid open. Evan rushed inside with her and the baby. As the door closed behind them, a metallic claw smashed against it from the other side. The entire room shook. The alien woman leaned against the wall, gasping. "This place, once human research, very old." Evan caught his breath. "We're safe?" "No," she whispered. A loud boom echoed from the door. "They will break through soon." She looked deeper into the dark ruins ahead. "Run, human. Run before the hunters find us." Cliffhanger. A distant voice suddenly echoed in the ruins, a voice calling Evan's name. The metal door behind Evan shook with a violent crash. Dust fell from the ceiling as the harvesters slammed their claws against the barrier. Their red eyes glowed through the thin cracks, searching for life. Evan tightened his grip around the alien baby, whose soft blue glow pulsed like a heartbeat. The alien woman leaned heavily against him, her breath shallow but determined. "We cannot stop," she murmured. "They'd break the door soon." Evan didn't argue. The banging made that clear. He led her deeper into the corridor ahead, an old underground complex long forgotten by humans. Thick cables hung from the ceiling like dead vines. Broken lights flickered at random, filling the hall with strange shadows. The air tasted of dust and old metal. "What is this place?" Evan asked, trying not to let panic into his voice. "A human research station," the woman whispered. "Very old. Before your history changed." Evan frowned. "What do you mean?" "Changed?" She shook her head. "Later, when safe." Another explosion shook the door behind them. Metal screeched under pressure. Safe was not now. They moved quickly down the corridor, their footsteps echoing through the hollow walls. The alien woman pointed ahead at a large sliding gate, half open and stuck. Evan squeezed through first, then pulled her gently under the gap. The alien child clung to him with tiny glowing fingers. Inside the next chamber, the air was colder. The walls were covered in symbols, mix of human writing and something far older. Tables lay overturned. Screens hung cracked on the walls. Rusty. Machines rested in silence, like sleeping beasts. Evan shone his flashlight around. "Looks abandoned." "It is not empty," the woman whispered. Before Evan could ask what she meant, the baby in his arms began to glow brighter. A low hum filled the air. Coming from the center of the room, something was waking up. A circular metal device, covered in dust and wires, lit up with a soft blue ring of light. Its surface vibrated like it recognized a familiar presence. The alien woman's eyes widened, the resonance core. "I thought it was broken. Is that good or bad?" Evan asked. "It depends," she said. "Why does it know you?" Evan froze. "Know me? Why would an alien machine know me?" The device's lights brightened and formed shapes, lines twisting until they created a hologram. But it wasn't random data, that it was a recording. A man in a lab coat appeared. Human, middle-aged, tired eyes, but confident voice. Evan stepped closer. The recording spoke. "If you are seeing this, it means contact has been restored, and that humanity still has hope." Evan swallowed hard. His hands trembled around the baby. Hope? Restored contact? What was this man talking about? The hologram continued. The alliance with our star visitors was strong once, but our leaders feared what they did not understand. They erased our records, buried our past, and shut down this facility. Evan turned to the alien woman. She watched with pain in her eyes. "This is truth," she whispered. The hologram grew brighter. "There's one human who carries the key. If they reach this place, the core will speak their name." Evan's heart thudded painfully. "What key?" "This is crazy," the hologram paused. A new shape formed. A name, a human name, Evan's name, Evan Cole. Everything inside him went cold. The alien woman stared at him with shock and strange recognition. "You are the chosen human?" "I don't know," Evan shouted, his voice cracking. "I don't know anything about this." But the core wasn't finished. The light swirled again and projected another image, an alien starship, one that looked similar to the woman's broken pod. "If the child is present," the hologram continued, "the life pulse will activate the ship hidden in the lower chambers." The baby in Evan's arms chirped softly, glowing brighter than ever. "They speak of my daughter," the alien woman whispered. "She is the life pulse." The hologram flickered again. "Protect the child. Protect her at all costs." Then it shut off. The room fell into dead silence. For one moment, Evan felt the world shift under his feet. Why his name? Why him? He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a soldier. He was just a salvage worker who found metal in the desert. Another deafening boom came from the corridor. The harvesters had broken through the first door. "They come," the alien woman said. Her voice trembled. "We must go to the ship. It is our only hope." Evan nodded, fear mixing with a strange new resolve. "Show me the way." They rushed toward the exit on the far side of the chamber, but just as they reached it, a shadow moved in the darkness. Something stepped out from behind an old machine. Evan froze. The figure was human. Very human. But the eyes were glowing red. Cliffhanger. The strange human-like figure whispered Evan's name, Evan Cole, in a voice that did not belong to a human. Evan's heart pounded as the strange, human-shaped figure stepped fully into the light. It wore old desert clothing, torn, dusty, colorless. From a distance, it could have passed as a normal man. But its eyes betrayed the truth. They glowed bright red, just like the harvesters. The alien woman froze beside Evan. Her body trembled with fear. "That is not human," she whispered. The figure tilted its head slowly, almost curiously, like a machine trying to understand a new piece of data. Then it spoke again. "Evan Cole." The voice was distorted metallic under the human tone, like someone forcing a robot to sound alive. Evan took a step back. The baby in his arms tightened its tiny glowing hands around his shirt. What are you?" Evan asked, his voice barely steady. The figure blinked with a mechanical twitch. "Prototype. Harvester Unit 0, human shell, combined with machine core." Evan's stomach twisted. "You mean they used people?" The figure nodded slowly. "First, experiments, long ago. Before your world forgot." The alien woman's face filled with sorrow. "Your people were taken, used, changed. This is their weapon now." Unit 0 took another step forward. Its movements were slow but unnervingly smooth. "Return the child," it said. "Life pulse detected. Priority target." Evan felt anger rising instead of fear. "Over my dead body." The mechanical human hybrid didn't react emotionally. Acceptable outcome. It lunged. Evan jumped aside just in time, clutching the baby close. The alien woman fired a weak pulse of blue energy from her hand, striking Unit 0 in the chest. It stumbled but did not fall. "That energy output," Unit 0 said, scanning her. "Species X. Near termination. No threat." The alien woman collapsed to her knees, drained. Evan grabbed a metal rod lying nearby and swung it as hard as he could at Unit Zero's head. The impact echoed through the room, but the machine barely reacted. It turned its glowing eyes toward Evan, almost curious again. Human. Strength. Minimal. Ineffective. Evan stepped back, breathing hard. Yeah? Let's see how you handle this. He kicked a loose machine part on the ground. It slid across the floor, hit a broken power cable, and sparks exploded outward. The sudden flash made Unit Zero recoil, a weakness. Light? Evan muttered. No, the alien woman said weakly. It's human shell. Sensitive to sudden overload. Unit Zero rebooted, red eyes flickering. Resistance detected. Adjusting approach, Evan helped the alien woman stand. We need to get out of here, now. She nodded and pointed toward a hallway at the back of the chamber. The lower tunnels lead to the ancient ship. Evan carried her weight on one side and held the baby tight with the other. They ran into the dark old corridor as Unit Zero followed with slow, heavy steps. The hallway felt endless. Rusted pipes dripped water. Cracked floor plates echoed there. Footsteps. The baby glowed brighter, as if guiding them. Finally, they reached a giant sealed door with carvings older than anything had ever seen. Curved patterns, stars, shapes resembling both humans and aliens. Evan touched the carvings. The metal vibrated softly, like it recognized something inside him. The alien woman lifted her shaking hand and pressed it to the center. Her glow merged with the symbols. A low hum filled the air. The door slowly opened. Inside was a massive circular chamber like a forgotten ancient vault. In the center rested a sleek alien ship, dust-covered but still beautiful. Its design was unlike the woman's broken pod. This one looked older, nobler. Powerful blue markings pulsed along its surface. The moment they entered, the baby chirped. Softly, the ship responded, its lights growing brighter. It is waiting, the woman whispered. My ancestors built this ship with humans, together. Evan's eyes widened. Humans helped build alien ships? Yes, she said. Before your leaders erased the truth. Before the alliance ended. Evan felt a strange mix of excitement and fear. Why did they erase it? Fear, she said softly. Fear of the unknown. Fear of sharing power. The ship opened a ramp as if welcoming them, but before they could move, a deep echo shook the chamber. Unit Zero had entered. Its glowing red eyes scanned the ship. Life pulse. Confirmed. Ship activation. Detected. Cannot allow escape. Evan felt panic rise. We can't fight that thing. The alien woman touched his shoulder. But the ship can. The ship's core pulsed brighter. The baby reached toward it, glowing intensely. Unit Zero stepped forward. Evan stepped in front of the alien woman and the child, gripping the metal rod with shaking hands. You're not touching them. Unit Zero's red eyes burned. Human, irrelevant. Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered. A deep voice, the ship's voice, echoed powerfully. Pilot detected. Evan Cole, authorization granted. Evan froze. What? I'm not a pilot. The alien woman looked at him with awe. The ship chose you. Unit Zero prepared to attack. The ship surrounded itself with a blinding blue shield. Cliffhanger. The ancient ship announced one final warning. Prepare for combat. The ancient chamber shook as the ship's voice echoed through the dark vault. Prepare for combat. Evan felt the words vibrate in his chest. The alien woman leaned weakly against the side of the ramp, her glowing skin flickering like a dying light. The baby in Evan's arms let out a soft cry, sensing the rising danger. Unit Zero took slow, deliberate steps toward them, its metallic joints grinding like old gears. Its human-like face remained empty, hollow, no fear, no anger, just pure mechanical purpose. Target locked, Unit Zero announced. raising its left arm. A long blade unfolded from beneath the skin, shining cold silver under the blue lights. Eliminate obstruction. Evan instinctively put himself between the machine and the alien mother, gripping his metal rod even though he knew it was nearly useless. "Come on," he told the machine, voice shaking. "Try me." Unit 0 tilted its head, studying him like a confused predator. Human resistance, irrational. Low success probability. "Yeah," Evan said, swallowing hard, "but still better than yours." The machine lunged. Evan rolled aside, the blade slicing the ground where he stood. Sparks burst upward. Sand and dust filled the air. He ran behind a large metal pillar, clutching the glowing infant close. Unit 0 turned toward him. But the alien woman stepped forward. A weak glow swirled around her palm, her last bit of power. She fired a small pulse of blue energy. It hit Unit 0's shoulder. The machine jerked back, surprised. Evan shouted, "Stop! You're hurting yourself." She shook her head. "I am already fading." "But you two must live." Unit 0 recovered instantly. Species X energy detected, draining. It began walking toward her. Evan felt panic spike in his chest. "No, stay away from her." He charged at Unit 0 again, swinging the rod with all his strength. It connected with a loud metallic crack, but the machine hardly reacted, only turned its red eyes toward Evan. Human interference, persistent. It grabbed Evan by the throat and lifted him off the ground. Evan gasped, kicking, struggling to breathe. The baby in his arm cried out, glowing brighter in fear. The alien woman let out a desperate scream and fired one last burst of light. Her legs gave out, and she collapsed. But the blast hit Unit 0's damaged shoulder directly where Evan's rod had struck before. A shower of sparks erupted. The machine staggered, dropping Evan onto the hard floor. Evan coughed violently, pulling the baby close, his throat burning. The alien woman crawled toward him, her body trembling. Her energy was nearly gone. "You must take her," she whispered. "Into the ship." Evan shook his head. "No, you're coming too." "I cannot," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "My energy is spent. The hunters chased me across stars. I am at my end." She reached out and touched Evan's face gently. "You have protected my child, better than many of my own kind could." Evan felt a painful tightness in his chest. "Don't say that. You're her mother. She needs you." "She needs you more," the woman whispered. "Humans were our allies once. Your heart is strong. Stronger than you know." Unit 0 rose again, its damaged arm sparking. Resuming capture protocol, the alien woman's glow flickered. She looked at Evan with determined eyes. "My last strength. I will use it to slow him." "What?" Evan stepped forward. No. There must be another way." She smiled softly. "There is none." She placed her baby into Evan's arms with great care. The child's glow softened, sensing its mother's pain. "Promise me," she said. "Protect her. Feed her. Raise her. As your own." Evan's throat tightened. "I promise." Unit 0 advanced. The woman turned toward it and lifted both hands. Her body glowed bright, far brighter than before. All her remaining life force gathered into one final burst. "Go!" she cried. A wall of blue energy exploded outward, hitting Unit 0 like a wave. It froze, its systems struggling to adapt. Evan ran up the ramp toward the ship. The ramp sealed behind him with a deep metallic hum. Inside, the ship's lights brightened as if welcoming the child home. But Evan turned back. Through the closing gap just long enough to see the alien woman standing tall, glowing like a star. And Unit 0 breaking through the wave, reaching for her. Then the door sealed shut. Inside the ship, Evan fell to his knees, shaking. The baby cried softly, its tiny hands reaching toward the closed ramp. Toward the mother now beyond it. Evan whispered. Voice breaking. I'll keep you safe, I swear it. Suddenly, the ship's voice echoed through the chamber. Life pulse connection complete. Combat systems ready. Pilot Evan Cole awaiting your command. The lights brightened. The floor began to move. The ship was waking fully. Cliffhanger. Outside, the walls shook violently. Unit 0 had breached the last barrier. The battle was about to begin. The ancient ship trembled as it came to life, its blue lights moving across the walls like flowing rivers. Evan held the alien baby close, feeling its tiny heartbeat against his chest. The ship's voice echoed again, deep, calm, and strangely comforting. Pilot Evan Cole. Systems awakening. Defensive mode active. Evan stared around in disbelief. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a pilot. He fixed broken solar panels and old farm equipment. That was his life. Yet this alien ship, all smooth metal, glowing veins, and floating control symbols, was calling him pilot. I hope you know what you're doing, Evan muttered, looking at the ceiling. The ship responded immediately. Affirmative. You possess required traits. Evan blinked. Traits? Like what? Courage, improvisation, unpredictability, essential for combat against harvesters. Evan gave a shaky laugh. Great, so basically, I'm an idiot who doesn't follow rules. Correct, the ship replied calmly. Evan sighed. That wasn't a compliment. The baby in his arms made a soft chirping sound. It stretched its small glowing hands toward the center of the ship, toward a circular platform with blue lines pulsing like a heartbeat. Evan felt the ship responding to the child's energy. Suddenly the lights flickered. A violent bang shook the ship. Evan turned sharply. They're here. Outside, beyond the sealed hull, Unit 0 and the harvesters were breaking through the final chamber wall. Dust and metal fell from above. The alien woman was somewhere out there, alone. Evan clenched his jaw. He couldn't abandon her sacrifice. Ship, he said quietly, open the view. A holographic window appeared, showing the inside of the vault. The massive metal door outside bent inward as something slammed into it again and again. Unit 0 stepped into view, one arm sparking, half its human shell peeled back to reveal cold machinery underneath. Its red eyes burned with furious purpose. Behind it, two harvesters marched like steel giants. Evan felt his stomach twist. We're dead. Incorrect, the ship said. Combat capabilities online. Panels around the cockpit opened. Blue holographic symbols floated in the air like touchable light. The baby chirped again, reaching for them. Evan looked down at the child. You can control this thing? The ship answered for the baby. Life pulse energy stabilizes core. But pilot must direct actions. So, I choose what to do, and she gives the power? Affirmative. Evan took a deep breath. All right, let's do this. He placed the baby gently into a glowing cradle in front of the controls. The child settled instantly, her blue aura connecting with the ship's core. Light surged through the entire vessel. Everything became brighter. Stronger. Alive. Outside, Unit 0 slammed its blade arm into the vault door. Cracks spread like lightning across the metal. Evan gripped the nearest floating control. Ship, can we fire something? Anything? Primary weapon, Starlance, ready. A glowing symbol appeared, a long line with a bright point. Instinctively, Evan dragged his hand across it. A loud humming filled the air. Outside, a bright blue beam shot out from the ship's front panel, piercing the vault door completely. Metal exploded outward. The beam struck one of the harvesters, blasting a hole straight through its core. The machine collapsed in sparks. Evan stared. Whoa, I did that. Correct, the ship said. Unit 0 turned its glowing eyes toward the ship. Target confirmed, it said. Neutralize immediately. Evan swallowed hard. Ship, what now? Shield mode, engage. A shimmering blue barrier wrapped around the vessel just as Unit 0 leaped forward, slamming its blade into the shield. Sparks burst like fireworks. The baby chirped in fear. Evan stepped closer to the controls. It's okay, little one. I've got you. Unit 0 attacked again. The shield cracked slightly. Warning, the ship announced. Enemy strength adaptation detected. He's getting stronger, Evan muttered. Because of course he is. Another monstrous harvester stepped into the chamber, half destroyed, but still moving. Evan pointed at it. Starlance. Do it again. The beam fired, blasting the machine apart, but Unit 0 avoided the shot, moving with frightening speed. It climbed the wall like a spider, then threw a piece of broken metal straight at the ship. The impact shook the hull. Damage, minor, the ship reported. Evan's hands trembled on the controls. How do I beat that thing? The ship responded calmly. Unit 0 contains human unpredictability, machine strength. Efficient hybrid. Only weakness, emotional echo. Evan frowned. Emotional. What? Remnant feelings from the human shell. Confusion possible. Distract to create opening. Evan stared at the holographic screen showing Unit 0. Emotional echo. So it remembers something? Correct. The name Evan Cole. Unit 0 suddenly sprinted toward the ship, blade raised. Hideout. The baby glowed brighter in fear. Evan yelled. Ship move. Cliffhanger. The ship launched upward just as Unit 0's blade swung, and the entire vault shook as combat truly began. The ancient vault roared like thunder as the alien ship blasted upward, barely escaping Unit 0's deadly blade. Evan felt the sudden lift shake his bones. He grabbed the nearest support rail, holding tight as the alien baby in the glowing cradle let out a small frightened cry. Easy. Evan shouted over the rumbling. Stay with me. The ship responded instantly, stabilizing flight, engaging combat path. Blue lights streaked across the chamber as the ship soared through the collapsing ruins. Unit 0 leapt after them, climbing. Shattered walls, sparks exploding under its metallic feet. Its glowing red eyes never left Evan. Target, Evan Cole. Priority, terminate. Evan felt a cold shiver. He really hates me. Incorrect, the ship said calmly. He remembers you. Evan glanced at the hologram. Why would he remember me? Unit 0's human shell once lived near your region. Memory fragments. Detected. A memory flashed back. A missing worker from a nearby mining camp. A man Evan met only once, months ago. Before the man suddenly vanished. Unit 0. It had been human once. Evan's heart twisted painfully. He's a person, or he used to be. Correct. Emotional echo strong. Use it. The ship dodged a falling stone pillar. The ceiling collapsed behind them as Unit 0 jumped into the air, landing on a hanging metal beam like a predator chasing its prey. Pilot, the ship warned. We cannot exit chamber without clearing threat. Evan clenched his jaw. All right. Let's finish this. He placed his hand over the glowing controls. Starlance full power. The front of the ship lit up, gathering immense blue energy. Unit 0 reacted instantly. Evade. It screeched. Crawling, the chamber shook violently. But Unit 0 dropped to the ground at the last second. Faster than the beam. It sprinted toward the ship. Evan panicked. Ship, move. The ship swerved left, but Unit 0 slammed into the side, denting the hull. Alarms flashed red. Warning. Hull integrity, 74%. Evan gritted his teeth. I'm not losing to a machine. He grabbed another glowing symbol. Shield pulse. Shockwave burst outward from the ship, throwing Unit 0 back. It crashed into a stone wall, but immediately stood again, shaking off dust like it felt no pain. The baby gave a soft whimper. Its glowing little hands reached toward Evan. He leaned closer. I know, we'll survive, I promise. Unit 0 sprinted again, faster than before. Sparks flew as it dragged its blade across the floor. Evan shouted, "Ship! Hit him with everything!" "Negative," the ship replied. "Direct shot risks damaging life pulse cradle," Evan cursed. "Then what can we do?" The ship paused, almost thinking. "Strategy available. Requires human improvisation." Evan smirked. "Improvising is what humans do best." He looked. Around the chamber, broken pillars, falling debris, machinery hanging from the ceiling. A crazy idea formed in his mind. "Ship! Fly low under that beam." The ship dropped suddenly. Unit 0 followed closely, blade raised. "Now rise up fast." The ship shot upward, scraping the beam just enough to loosen it. The old metal groaned, cracked. Then the entire structure collapsed on top of Unit 0. A storm of rubble and dust exploded across the chamber. Evan held the rail tight as the ship steadied itself. When the dust cleared, Unit 0 crawled out from under the rocks, half its face broken, machinery exposed, but it was still coming. Still unstoppable, persistent little, Evan muttered. The ship interrupted. "Pilot, emotional echo spike detected." Unit 0 stopped for a moment. Its one remaining human eye flickered, confused, broken, almost sad. Evan stepped forward. "Hey, do you remember me? You were human once." The machine froze. Evan." It whispered in a distorted, broken voice. "Yes," Evan said gently. "You don't have to fight. You don't have to obey the harvesters." Unit 0 trembled. Then something changed in its glowing red eye. A flicker, a spark of humanity. A memory. Trying to break through programming. "Evan, help me." Evan reached out instinctively, but the baby suddenly glowed brightly, her blue aura shining like a star. The ship pulsed with her light. Emotional window detected. "Opening for attack," Evan whispered. "I'm sorry." Star lance fire. A beam of pure blue energy struck Unit 0 straight through the chest. Its human eye widened. Its mechanical shell cracked, and for the first time, it spoke in a fully human voice. "Thank you." Then it fell, silent forever. Evan stood frozen, breathing hard. The baby stopped glowing and settled peacefully. The ship dimmed its lights. "Threat eliminated," it said softly. Evan wiped his eyes. "Let's finish this." The vault roof split open as the ship blasted straight upward, breaking through stone, dirt, and metal. The night sky welcomed them, with stars brighter than Evan had ever seen. The world below looked small. Quiet. Safe. For now, the ship hovered gently. The alien baby reached out, touching Evan's face with a tiny glowing hand. Evan whispered, "It's just you and me now, little one. I'll take care of you." The ship spoke one last time. Course set. "Destiny awaits, Pilot Evan Cole." Evan took a deep breath. "All right," he said. "Let's go see the stars." The ship soared into the sky, carrying a human, an alien child, and the beginning of a new future.